It's episode 364, and Zack and Alyssa have taken over. In news, we chat about THQ's big anniversary showcase, Persona's own Japanese showcase, and the big star leading the Twisted Metal TV series. Can't believe that thing's really going to happen. We also make sure to talk about the recent Life is Strange True Colors before we jump into our From the Outside In topic, where we have fun relishing in poorly titled video games. Listen in to see what happens when two weeaboo introverts take over a podcast for a week. And don't worry, Scott and his overly perfect hair will be back next week. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 364 of The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It's Monday, September 20th, and I am not Scott Clark. I am Zach Parkerson. Scott Clark is, I don't know, off being a pirate. He had some obligations with his other podcasts. So, joining me this week is just Alyssa White.
Just me. I feel like, am I just chopped liver?
Are we the leftovers? I mean, I didn't mean just in that way. I'm so sorry.
I didn't take it that way. I'm just poking fun at you.
Everyone else is apparently do good for us, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
Yeah. CB and Scott are off doing ridiculous football nonsense or whatever it is they're doing.
They
saving
don't want to
lives.
hang out with the weebs.
Right, I was gonna say so this week, I apologize, listeners. The weeaboos have taken over. But let's just jump right into it, Alyssa. What do you say?
Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
That of course, yes. We're typically the most fun too of the bunch anyway. So I think
if we do say so ourselves, we're very modest.
Of course, yeah, humble too. But you've been playing Psychonauts 2 some more?
I have, yeah. Finally. Jump back in because I'd played the review game. It'll be on the site sometime. And then I played Life is Strange True Colors, which will also be on the site. But yeah, I love Psychonauts 2. I'm about 10 hours in it now. Still not finished. But it's just such a wonderful game. It's so colorful and I'm loving the story. It just feels good to play. Definitely one of my favorites of the year so far.
Wow. Wait, you played all the way through Life is Strange True Colors?
I did, yeah. I binged in, I think, 3 days' time.
Whoa, did you talk about it on the show?
I have not yet.
Oh man, we're at to talk about that. We'll talk about that later. We'll just squeeze that into the show later. How about that?
Definitely.
See, this is kind of the impromptu podcast you could only get when it's us two. So Psychonauts 2. So you've gotten to the Jack Black of it all?
Yes, I love Jack Black. The whole time I'm like,
so
I just want Jack Black to be my companion the whole time now.
It was great, and I had no idea Elijah Wood was in that
he's
game.
Nick Johnsmith, which if you haven't played the game, please play this game. It's wonderful. But yeah, Elijah Wood is a character named Nick Johnsmith.
I just, both of them don't really sound like themselves in this game.
I could tell it was Jack Black, but Elijah Wood does not sound like Elijah Wood.
Yeah, props to him, man. Yeah, but I'm right there with you. I'm like minutes from beating Psychonauts 2, and it's great. It's exceptional. It is. It's kind of hard to believe that it doesn't feel like a beat has been missed somehow in 16 years.
I know, and it's on Game Pass, so I mean, if you're subscribed, you can play it. Try it. You don't have to have played the first game because it recaps it for you. Because I never played the first one or the VR game.
Yeah, I prefer the first one. I don't know how much of that is nostalgia, but I think it's mostly just the summer camp setting really worked for me with a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
but two is no slouch at all. You're right. You don't need to play the first one whatsoever. I bought the VR game and just never played it.
I've heard it's good as well, but I don't have any kind of VR system.
I'm sure. I remember I bought it to support it, and then I was like, this is not how I want to reconnect with these characters after 15 years in a VR thing. So I waited, and I'll probably never play it now.
I've heard it's very short, like maybe 2 hours total.
I'm sure. But you've been playing that. Is there anything else you've been playing? Just Psychonauts 2?
Yep, just Psychonauts 2 because I'm pretty bad at juggling. But I will be playing the game that you are currently playing, I believe, as soon as I wrap Psychonauts up, which you're playing Tales of Arise.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, in full weeb mode here. Tales of Arise, because I think if you think of the big JRPGs, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Tales of Rise, Tales of definitely the anime of the bunch.
Very popular in Japan as well.
Yeah, I learned they have their own store in Japan.
They have a Tales of store?
Yeah, that's what I learned. That's cool.
I need to go.
I know you can go. You can buy drinkware with the characters on them. But I'm playing further into Tales of Rise. Let's see. I'm in the third of 5 realms now, and it just kind of keeps getting better and better as you get more party members because they interact in fun ways. I'm sure you probably have more familiarity with the series than I do, but I like all those the character skits. Those little character beat moments are really great. It just
I know in the demo those were massively improved over the previous entries because you know how you said in Scarlet Nexus it was just kind of like static images and then they're talking back and forth. That's how the older Tales games were with that. So this one definitely has improved that aspect, at least what I saw in the demo.
One, and what's nice over this compared to Scarlet Nexus, which is also Bandai Namco, which is why I compare them in my head, is that they don't last as long. Like Scarlet Nexus will do the comic book skit conversations for like 70 minutes.
That is long.
It's insane. Like they just keep talking and talking. But here, yeah, it's just like a brief thing where like, you know, two boys will talk about eating stew or whatever, right? You know,
what a fascinating conversation.
Well, I think that's great. Like these little tiny character beats are so great. It's really fleshing them out. But in the third realm, I'm fascinated because they're still adding new gameplay mechanics. Like they just added added this thing where you can combo your way through battle. So if you just keep running into monsters to essentially grind, if you do them fast enough, you rack up this combo that increases your experience points and drop rates. So it's pretty cool. And it's really nice that each realm has their own distinct flavor. I'm beginning to sense in the story that once I complete the 5 realms, it will not be the end.
Ooh.
Which would only be correct, right? Because this can't be a JRPG if there's not a last minute swerve to having to save the world out of nowhere.
That is true. You can't have a JRPG without saving the world somewhere inserted into it.
Right, through the power of friendship.
That's true. The power of friendship.
The people coming together. So yeah, I mean that's what I've been playing. I think we'll have more to say. I was distracted this week by another game I can't talk about yet, but Tales is like it's kind of like comfort food now.
Yeah.
I come home from a hard day's work, just pop off a couple hours of Tales of Arise because combat's just so great. I think I could do it all day.
Yeah, I've heard the combat is majorly improved over the previous installments, which I actually liked the combat in the previous ones. It was called the Limbs system.
Yeah.
But this one...
It's a really silly name.
Yeah, I don't remember does this one even have a name, or is it just combat system?
I'm sure it's like because LIM stands for like linear motion battle system or something like that, right?
I believe so.
I don't know what their acronym is for this one, but I'm sure it's ridiculous.
But I know in the demo it felt really good, the combat, so.
Yeah, I'm way into it. So I think that's what we've been playing. I guess we could talk about some video game news, right?
Yeah, we could.
Hop into some of that.
Yeah, let the people know what's going on.
So in news this week, right at the top, a couple new games got announced, and I'm intrigued to talk about a few of these, so expect to circle back, Alyssa.
Okay.
Wipeout Rush got announced for mobile platforms from Rogue Games, coming to iOS, Android sometime in 2022. Wuchong Fallen Feathers is being developed by Lindsay Games, published by Billy, who published that Fist anthropomorphic game that came out a couple weeks ago, Forged in Shadow Torch.
Oh yeah, I heard that was actually really good.
It looks rad, and this looks pretty good too. That's coming to current gen and PC. Bloodshore, which I think you got very excited about very quickly.
I did, yeah.
I'm
very excited for this one.
That's the next big FMV game from the Night Shift folks, Wales Interactive and Goodgate Media. That's coming to just about every console, I think, under the sun, including mobile, PC, Switch, all the consoles. Coming in November. This one really excited me because I have been thinking about these games a surprising amount lately because I rewatched Blade. And I think that
Blade! Yeah.
Blood Rain is as close as you get to a good Blade game. So
I love... The last time I was on this podcast, I was talking about how I wanted a Blood Rain remake or remaster or something like of the 3D games.
Yeah, well, Blood Rain revamped and Blood Rain 2 revamped, coming from Ziggurat Interactive on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch this fall. So it's supposed to come out pretty soon, and there will be a limited run physical printing if you're into that sort of thing. I know I am. I'm very excited for this. Then THQ Nordic had its 10th anniversary showcase, and Twisted Metal TV show has found its lead actor. And this one's just for you and I, Alyssa, a little bit of the weeboo action.
Yeah.
Persona's 25th anniversary live stream happened in Japan. What would you like to talk about first?
Well, let's save the weebiness. That's not a word.
It is now.
End. First off, I'm just going to say that Twisted Metal cast Anthony Mackie as the star. And Anthony Mackie is just so super cool.
Yeah, he's great. I wasn't super sold on Anthony Mackie as like when the Falcon stuff, just because he got about 10 minutes per movie.
That's true.
But with that show, I think that show is incredible. So he's a leading man in my eyes now.
And he's going to be Captain America, I believe, in the next Captain America movie. So
right, you're right. Captain America 4 starring Anthony Mackie. I don't know how he's going to find time.
Yeah, he's got to play John Doe in Twisted Metal.
Yes, a great name, Anthony Mackie is going to be playing John Doe, who has been described as a smart-ass milkman, which is a description if I've ever heard one. He has to deliver a package across the post-apocalyptic wasteland, accompanied by a companion who is described as a trigger-happy car thief. That role has not been cast yet. Although they did make sure to confirm that a certain ice cream selling clown will be making an appearance. You can't do Twisted Metal without Sweet Tooth, right?
No, you can't.
No, so I think Anthony Mackie's a huge get, but let's not forget that Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who wrote Deadpool, are writing this series, and they're being accompanied by Michael Jonathan Smith, who is one of the writers on Cobra Kai. That's quite a studded cast there.
It is a fantastic crew.
And then if that's not enough, Will Arnett's production studio is the company producing the movie. Or the show, sorry. Show. That's pretty rad.
But it does not have a release date or a network.
Yeah,
which right now, so
baller.
It's up for grabs.
Feels like a baller move on PlayStation's part to just start casting and writing all these scripts without having a home for it yet. I feel like that's a real faith in this TV property.
Yeah, I mean, even getting someone as big as Anthony Mackie in your show and not having someone to air it right now.
Yeah, and I can't imagine he comes cheap, you know?
Oh, I would doubt it, since Marvel, all the Marvel stuff.
Right. I mean, I think I'm really excited for the show, actually. I think
can see it being cool.
The like post-apocalyptic, fury roading of a package seems like the right move for adapting Twisted Metal. Because arena car combat would get pretty old pretty fast as a TV show.
Yeah.
But as a series, yeah, I think this sounds really cool. Because you get all the other wacky characters like Jax. Maybe we'll finally Axel, figure out why he's stuck in those tires.
That would be fantastic
to figure out. I don't know what your Twisted Metal familiarity is.
I played some when I was a little kid. I don't remember too much. I do remember Sweet Tooth, because how could you forget him?
Correct, yes.
Pretty much everything else. I do remember Axel, but after that, I'm just like, I forgot.
Yeah, I think I pretty much just remember Sweet Tooth, Axel, and Baby Doll. And it's only because Baby Doll was also creepy. But I'm all for video game TV shows. And I'm all for PlayStation getting in on the movie and TV business.
They really are. I mean, first off, The Last of Us. That actually has a home, though.
Yeah, the home box office, in fact. And yeah, they also have Neil Druckmann, the original creator, attached. I think they're making a lot of the right moves so far with these things.
They really are.
So I'm on board. I figure we may as well jump to the THQ Nordic stuff. I think that was kind of the biggest news, probably, of the week. So THQ Nordic, somehow already 10 years old. I can't believe that the original THQ died.
That's insane.
That long ago. Rest in peace, Udraw. But they came out of the gates swinging with Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. That's Black Forest Games is the people who remastered the first one. They're redoing this one. It'll only be on PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. However, leaving us last geners behind.
How could they?
No choice. What's up? I don't care. You can have Destroy All Humans too.
I've never even played the first one, to be honest.
Yeah, it was never really my thing. I think I played like a demo for it back on the original Xbox and had all of the fun I was going to have with Destroy All Humans via the demo. But I do appreciate them trying to preserve this weird random franchise.
And I do appreciate, the subtitle, Reprobed.
Reprobed. That's pretty good. A lot of these are fun, right? Like Blood Rain having revamped. That's also very clever.
And they've got the vamped capitalized.
Of course, yes, revamped. Oh man, I'm really excited for Blood Rain 2 to play it again.
Oh, me too. I still remember that one lady boss that I don't know if you can remember.
I don't remember. I just remember Blood Rain 2 being significantly improved over the first Blood Rain.
It was.
Like night and day. What was with this lady boss?
She was like this big, she took up like the whole room, and you had to use I think you had a grapple hook. And that was the only way you could defeat her. You had to grapple onto her.
Okay.
I think you had to like attack her after you grappled onto her, but she would knock you off after a bit. And then you have to redo it, and then you'd have to go feed on somebody to get your health back up.
Yeah.
I guess you're a vampire in this game.
I guess we've circled back to Blood Rain real quick. Yeah. I'm very excited for Blood Rain. I had just been talking about, because they did the 2D game they just put out on modern consoles with Laura Bailey and Troy Baker involved. And I was talking about how I'd rather have these, and here they are. They're coming. I know,
they heard us. They made our wish come true.
I think they did. Because Blood Rain 2 is like Prince of Persia, but you play as a smoking hot vampire lady.
Yeah, so that's killing other vampires. Come
on. What a recipe for success. Yeah. Okay, let's circle back to THQ, who we just totally rid of the bus. Beyond Destroy All Humans 2, they've also announced SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake. That's coming from Purple Lamp Games, who did the Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated remake. That'll be coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. I'm sure there are people that are excited about this. To me, as a non-SpongeBob fan, just from the outside looking in, they really seem to be milking the hell out of this franchise since the creator died.
Yeah, he always said before he died he did not want any kind of spin-offs or anything of that nature. But as soon as he died, hey,
just
spin-offs.
Knocking them out left and right. It's unreal.
Milking that cash cow.
Dude, it's just like when Tom Clancy died. And all of a sudden Ubisoft has, aliens in Tom Clancy games now.
Because, that's totally Tom Clancy.
Right, yeah, he wouldn't be rolling over in his grave at all. I'm sure people are excited about that. I think it's cool for the developers that you get to make a new SpongeBob after you remake one.
That's true.
Right? And I think it could paint an interesting strategy for THQ Nordic where, they remake these Destroy All Human games and then maybe that developer gets a chance to make their own Destroy All Humans game.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I think that would be very clever. And feeding into my theory is a remastered and remade Outcast a couple of years ago for consoles. And they just announced Outcast 2, A New Beginning, which is a sequel to the 1999 game, which is impressive in history's retrospect because it was an open world game before Grand Theft Auto 3 even. And it came out 2 years prior. So I guess this is really, the old idiom, right? Like somebody does it first, then somebody does it best.
That's true, yeah.
Outcast did it first. Grand Theft Auto 3 did it best. Appeal Studios is the original developer that's coming back, including the director of the original game, which I think is super cool. Hopefully he doesn't miss a beat like Psychonauts. That would be great. That's going to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. I've always been fascinated by the first Outcast. I have bought it on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox now, and have played it none of those times. Because it's like, you're just dropped to this planet, this alien planet, as a normal human, and you have to it's like a free-form narrative where you have to go to different villages, and they speak different languages, so you have to, learn the languages, but you as a player actually have to, call out the words. It's very fascinating. So it feels like it really expects a lot of the player. And
I've never actually heard of this game, but it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it always sounded great in theory, but I've never put it into practice. Too many games out there.
But you bought it 3 times, so...
Yeah.
You supported the team.
I sure did, yeah. That's why Outcast 2 is happening, from people just buying the first game and never playing it.
You gonna buy this one 3 times?
No. I would also like to clarify, I'm pretty sure I bought it on sale all of those 3 times. But I just keep lying to myself that I'm going to play it. Maybe they'll put it on Switch. I can lie to myself that I'll play it there, too.
Yeah.
And speaking of franchises coming back, Jagged Alliance 3 is coming from Haemimont Games. Those are the developer. Haemimont.
That's just fun to say.
It is kind of fun to say. That's the Tropico team. So if you've seen those 900 Tropico games that come out, this is the studio behind all of those. This will be a PC-only title. I know like of Jagged Alliance, but I don't really know anything truly from it. I just know it's been a number of years since the last one.
I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know much about this franchise.
I'm sure there's a swath of Jagged Alliance fans who lost their minds.
I know some people are probably listening to us going, "No!
How do you not know Jagged Alliance?"
Shaking fist at sky.
But speaking of sequels to long-dormant franchises, Superpower 3, which is a sequel to a 2004 was the last game. This is Gollum Labs, who also did 1 and 2. This will be a PC-only title. Again, another franchise I know absolutely nothing about, but it's cool it's given a shot.
Me too. I agree with you. We're not very knowledgeable right now.
It's a lot of like PC exclusive franchises. Something I know a little bit more about, MX vs. ATV Legends was announced for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC. It's Rainbow Studios, who's been knocking these things out for, I think, 20 years straight. Right? Because they did the MX Supercross trilogy, they did ATV Off-Road Fury, and then finally somebody in a boardroom was like, well, what if we put them together? And then you had a bunch of MX vs. ATV games.
I have heard of these games. I've just never played any of them.
I think, based on my own personal history, I would assume the target demographic is pre-teened males, because that is my brothers and I play these things to death back in the day. But I don't. It's just a racing game, right? I mean,
I'm not good at racing games. The only one I'm decent at it was Forza Horizon 4.
Okay.
So, I'm not one to talk about racing games because I'm just not good at them. I run into walls and trees and in the ocean, and then I lose. So, the
only racing game I ever loved was Split Second, and that was because it was trying like hell to be a movie. And it worked.
Now, I did love, on the PlayStation, I'm totally diverting off this track, but...
Fine. That's great.
Fun, diverting off the track. Okay.
Wow, racing fun. Look at that. See, you know racing.
Did you ever play Chocobo Racing?
Oh, yeah.
That was my jam when I was a kid. Wow. I loved it. I played it on the PlayStation 1. And I always made my parents play with me.
That's awesome. It's also a little bit sad, I guess.
I was very little.
Okay.
We're only a year apart, though, Zach.
Yeah. You want to know a fascinating fact I learned about Chocobo Racing this very day?
What?
Is that it's the same director as Parasite Eve.
What?
What a combo.
That cute little racing game and
I know.
Parasite
like this
Eve.
From Square Enix first M-rated title ever to Chocobo Racing. In fact, he decided not to direct Parasite Eve 2 so he could make Chocobo Racing.
He made a great choice, I think.
Well, based on the quality of Parasite Eve 2, I have no choice but to agree with you. That game was no bueno. But wow, Chocobo Racing was not expecting to be referenced at all.
I didn't expect to reference it. It just came to me.
I appreciate it. We are pro going off script this week. We got no scat.
Don't
here.
we always though, Zach? When
That's
we're
fair.
Left unattended.
Right, the inmates are running the asylum for sure. Boy, I could not. I know they announced this game a few months ago. This is the next Piranha Bytes RPG, Elix 2, which I think is either my lowest rated or second lowest rated game ever for the site.
I have to find this review.
I think I might have given it a 3 or something. I think the only game that I might have reviewed lower is 12 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, you gave 12 minutes a 2.5. Because I put that in the shell.
And it only got a 2.5 because it functions. But Elix is a, wow. I hope Helix 2 is great. The main character, Jax, is returning. He's been in exile since the first game. He's coming back for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC. I wish I could be... The premise of the game was super cool, right? Where it was like a meteor hit the planet, so like all the technology gets wiped out, and like basically every region of the planet sort of develops separately.
Mm-hmm.
So like one nation is like fantasy, where they had like a lot of magic when they were rebuilding. So it's just like almost like a D&D fantasy world. But then you get up to the other corner, and they have like jetpacks, and it's a sci-fi universe, but they're not like really super aware of each other. And so it's kind of interesting because it's like all these different RPG genres existing in one like planet together. It's kind of a super fun idea, and you could like align with different factions and stuff. However, the game is hot garbage, and just perform poorly. I remember the loading times being quite egregious. I remember there being some weird problem with the dialogue and the lip syncing where it would never catch up. Anyway, under no circumstance should anybody play the first Helix. But hopefully, I can be an optimist for sequels. And I can say Helix had a fun premise, so I think Helix 2 maybe could deliver if given the right time and budget. So hopefully this is the case here. But Helix, woof, what a disappointment. And then the last thing they announced was Expeditions Rome. That's coming from developer Logic Artists. It is a CRPG, the old school Western RPG style, like your Baldur's Gates. This is their Rome version. They've done a Conquistador and a Viking version. Lots of like moral choices and stuff like that happening here. It seemed pretty cool, but it's only on PC, so I'll never play it.
Aww.
That's just kind of my weird rule.
Maybe it might get ported one day.
It might. None of their games have so far over at Logic Artists, and they have this one game like Clandestine, where I think it was like a co-op game where one person played as a spy, the other person played as a person in the room. That was really cool. But if I open myself up to PC, I'll never do anything again besides just play games. I'll never read another book or watch TV.
Sad.
I know. I don't have time for everything.
Isn't that true for all of us?
Indeed. Yeah, but that was THQ Nordic Showcase. Not quite as stunning as the PlayStation Showcase of a few weeks ago, but it's nice to see THQ making some moves, especially because they own like 80 studios or whatever the hell. Because they just keep acquiring other mid-tier publishers and whatnot. So it's nice to see some movement on their end.
And plus, they've been around for a decade now.
Yeah, and I feel like they have had a pretty conservative output in that time. Although they did bring Darksiders 3 out, so I do thank them for that.
That's true. Our girl Sissy killed it as Fury.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Sissy Jones. Hopefully we get that Darksiders 4 one day and we get Strife's story. I want to circle back to Bloodshore real quick because I know you're excited for this FMV game that looks like Battle Royale, like the old Japanese movie.
I know. That's one of my favorite movies.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love Battle Royale.
I love Battle Royale as well.
So good.
It was especially fun because me and my brothers watched it together, like as teenagers, and I think we forgot to turn English subtitles on the first time. So we were just narrating the dialogue to each other, and I remember the two lead boys who were like, one of them's Badass McGee and the other's Badass McGillicuddy, and they were brothers separated at first. It was really silly. But then when I actually did watch it, it's a remarkable film. And then Battle Royale 2 immediately sucks, in my opinion.
I have not watched any of the sequels because I was afraid of that.
Yeah, I got the box set with both of them, and 2...
I've got the box set as well, but I won't watch the sequels.
You're good. Good for you. It's like it immediately becomes like about rebelling against the government. It's like the lead characters formed a terrorist organization to combat. It's not what Battle Royale was. But Bloodshore looks very good. It's from your studio. I dare not try to.
My studio.
I feel like you're one of their.
I took it over. I have not taken over Wales Interactive, guys. That's just a joke.
Well, they might hire you as a PR manager one day, though.
I mean, if they want to, they can call me.
Yeah. I think it looks fun. I think it looks like it has a broader appeal than their other FMV games, just because the subject matter is pretty awesome.
I mean, I've enjoyed their past ones as well. but I'm just an FMV person.
I know you are. That's good.
Everyone knows.
Yes, they do. Whereas I am a Soulsborne person, so this new game, Wu Chong Fallen Feathers, that was announced, coming out of China, looks awesome.
I have never heard of it before, but I mean, it sounds pretty cool from the title.
I mean, basically, like you're playing like a ninja E-lady, and it's a Soulsborne kind of game, which I could play. I could play one of those in my sleep at this point. I love them so dearly. And it's just interesting to see like China starting to make some moves in single player games, as well as Korea with Project Eve. Like it's interesting.
Project Eve looks so good. By the way.
Right? Yeah, hell yeah! Can't wait for that game. I'm intrigued in this. But real quick before we move on to the Persona Showcase, which is just really for you and me, yeah. I did want to talk about Wipeout Rush because this is a PlayStation property. And it's coming to mobile right next year. But it's not being published by PlayStation or Sony. It wasn't even announced on the PlayStation blog or anything. It was announced via IGN, which was weird. And Sony's just like weirdly being quiet about this for this being their first mobile title. Why do you think are they afraid of it now? Or what? It fascinated me. I'm sure I'm sure it didn't hang you up like it did me. I couldn't get over it. I was like, why are they not mentioning? Like, why is Sony not talking about this first mobile game? Because if I were them, I would think, here it is, guys. We're going big. Like Nintendo did with Mario Run. We're going to integrate trophies into this thing. It's going to be a real deal. But instead, they're just letting this Rogue Game Studio do all the talking for them. It's very peculiar to me.
It is peculiar, unless they're fearing, backlash like Diablo, Immortal God, or several other games.
Another out of season April Fool's joke. That was the Diablo meme.
Oh yeah, my brain was just like poof.
It's all right. Somebody out there laughed at my joke. I'm hoping. It's just I'm sure no one else probably cares about this. It's just very weird to me that Sony would make its first push towards mobile and not say a damn thing about it. Very weird.
It's also strange.
Also weird to take a sci-fi racer game like Wipeout and turn it into a card sim manager, but
it's a card sim?
Yeah.
That is so weird.
They didn't really illustrate the gameplay, so I don't know if you are directing the cars with like a joystick or anything, but what they did show, it almost looked like you're watching the car race and you're choosing like cards at the right moment for the race, which seems like a horrifying way to adapt Wipeout to mobile.
That does sound pretty bad.
I don't there's so many better ways to do a racer than that. I'm intrigued to see what will happen with this title. Well, all right. Let's close it out. Persona 25th anniversary live stream. This mostly covered Japan stuff, in that it was only in Japanese, right? It had to be translated by PersonaCentral.com, the fan site. They did announce a symphony November 21st, 2021. Book your tickets now if you're looking to fly over. Which all of the animes, so the Persona 3 anime movies, Persona 4 show, Persona 5 show, even the old anime that I didn't even know existed, based on the first PS1 game, is coming into streaming platforms. And
I didn't know that existed either.
I learned via this information today. What a world. That first game is quite different tonally. It's closer to an actual Shin Megami Tensei game, those first two. And the stage plays are going to be streaming. I was disappointed. I'm like, let me stream it here in America. Announce something.
I know.
The only crumbs they're really throwing us over here in the Western speaking part of the world is they did open up shopatlas.com, which is basically just a way for Western fans to buy all the merchandise for the anniversary and stuff, which is cool. Because as someone who's a huge fan of a Japanese franchise like Nier, I have to go through import sites and stuff because the Western store is always so far behind, even though, it's just the same stuff. Why do I have to wait an extra 6 months for a meal plushie? It's ridiculous.
And then And then do you have to calculate yen to dollars when you do that?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm probably overpaying for shipping. I'm letting PayPal translate all of the money.
Well, basically, 100 yen is $1 American, so...
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, around that. It's not exact.
But, so those are the big notes. I guess the big news for us, if you're a fan over here, is that their second live stream is coming to December, where I would presume they will show off Persona 6, because they've already confirmed the game. So it's just a matter of when they're going to show it now.
Give it to us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you remember when they, weirdly, quietly announced Persona 6, but they said that their plan is to outdo Persona 5 in every way. And it kind of... Because Persona 3, 4, and 5 are all very, very, very similar games. Mm-hmm. So I think with Persona 6, it sounds like they're trying to switch it up a little bit.
That's exciting.
I think so. I agree. I'm on board. I should also play Persona 5 at some point.
Oh, it's so good, Zach.
I mean, I love 3 and 4. Love them.
5's wonderful.
I mean, 3, I think 3 is one of the great games.
I never got to play 3.
That's what I was kind of hoping for this live stream, was announce Persona 3 and 4 for a reasonable console.
Yeah, because you can only play 4 on the Vita or PC, right?
Or PS2.
PS2, yeah.
Yeah, but it is just sadly stranded off on the Vita land, Persona 4 Golden. It's insane.
Come on, Atlas.
Yeah, what are you doing over there? Well, bit of housekeeping as always. We do have a Patreon at patreon.com/thegocast. This is where I'll say Scott is definitely a much better pitchman than me. I'm not good at reading commercials. But if you do like the content, for $3 a month, you get some bonus episodes every single month. Get the show a little bit early. We did a 12-minute spoiler cast where you can hear me curse a great deal. Because that game is rotten to the core. And we have a few other upcoming episodes. I don't know when they're coming out, but I'm sure they will come out. Scott's long talked about Pokemon foray, his first foray into Pokemon. We're discussing that as well. And then there's a few other topics that we're going to talk about. I know CB is trying to put together some kind of thing about the video game collecting market.
That'd be really cool, actually.
There are some concerns there. Anyway, that's patreon.com/thegocast. I'm a terrible shill. But if you like us, that's a great way to support us. Helps keeps the light on. The money we do get right now ensures that we can do this. Right? Which is pretty nice.
Yeah. It allows us to hijack the podcast by ourselves.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, hosting really runs your throat dry. Who knew?
I know.
All right, well, now that we got that out of the way, why don't we talk about what we were actually playing? No shocker here, Alyssa. A ton of video games are coming out still.
That's true. September is scary.
It's not. And what's frustrating is so many of them look so good.
I know.
And I feel like every day at least one game's coming out that I would like to play, but it's obviously just not possible.
I know, it'd be like it's going on the backlog immediately.
Right, I mean, right off the bat, very excited about Kenna Bridge of Spirits. That's going to PS5, PS4, and PC September 21st. I keep saying this facetiously, and people keep thinking I'm not seriously, but it really does remind me of Star Fox Adventures Dinosaur Planet, and I really love that game. And this is a connection probably only my brain is making, but it makes me so excited for this game.
I've never played that.
Most people probably say you're lucky. I think you'd like it. I don't know. It'd probably be tough to play for the first time in this day and age. Shelter 2 is coming to PC September 21st. Street Outlaws 2 Winner Takes All. That is a racing game, an emphasis on street racing like Need for Speed back in the day. Coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and Switch September 21st. World War Z Aftermath is a repackaging of the World War Z multiplayer shooter from a couple of years ago. That's going to PS5, PS4 Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC September 21st. Pokemon Unite, the Pokemon MOBA, is finally coming off of Switch and onto iOS and Android September 22nd. Speaking of mobile releases, Collection of Saga, Final Fantasy Legend, which collects a bunch of the different Saga games that I've never partaken in personally. That's coming to iOS and Android September 22nd. Probably a great way to catch up there. Big release September 23rd with Diablo 2 Resurrected coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. I assume that will do huge numbers. And you'll also notice all of the ads lost the Activision part of the branding there too. It's really funny how they're bearing their own name right now. Ember is a cute little adventure coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC September 23rd. MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries coming to PlayStation consoles, both PS5 and PS4, September 23rd. That's based on the Battletech pen and paper RPG, of course. And there's also been quite a many MechWarrior game. Sable, which is an open world, almost a Breath of the Wild-esque game that looks super like an 90s anime to me. It's coming to Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC, September 23rd. It will be on Game Pass, of course, so you're not really losing anything but time checking that one out. I was quite excited for this. The E3 demo thing that they released ran very poorly on my Xbox One. I'm hoping that will not continue to be the case. Death Stranding Director's Cut coming to PS5 September 24th. Hideo Kojima did warn you that it's not as big of a difference as Sony is making out to be. And I always appreciate when somebody sandbags their own product. Blind Postman is a puzzler coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC September 24th. The Addams Family Mansion Mayhem is harkening back to the PS2 by being a movie tie-in, releasing on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC September 24th. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot coming off of the big boy consoles and onto the Switch September 24th. Lost Judgment, which I have to imagine Alyssa's pretty stoked for.
Yeah.
Coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, and Xbox One September 24th. As we learned, there will never be a PC version of that game. And then Port Royale 4 gets upgraded to next-gen, current-gen hardware with PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, September 24th. Alyssa, I assume it's got to be Lost Judgment for you, right?
It is, because I love the first game. I was addicted. I put over 60 hours in.
Whoa!
I had to go to every single restaurant in that game to eat at the restaurant to get the dang trophy eating.
Did you get the platinum?
I did. Not the platinum.
Okay.
But I was determined to get this trophy for some reason, where you go to every single restaurant in the game and order something off the menu.
I mean, that's a fun trophy, though.
It is, yeah. And, some places are bars, so you have to get something to drink, and it makes them drunk, and you're like, yay, woo.
That's great. To me, it excites me because Yakuza does not have an English dub, but the Judgment series does.
It does, yeah. And I played it dubbed. I believe you can... Well, it'd be really weird to not be able to play it with Japanese audio, English subtitles. Agreed. But I played it dubbed, and it's a really good dub.
That's good to hear. I was surprised a detective game lasted you 60 hours.
It's not just a detective game. It does have some of the Yakuza elements because you do woo women.
Yeah.
And you do this by going and playing darts or going to the batting cage. It's not as suave as I made it sound out to be.
I love women.
And you have to buy them presents, and sometimes they won't like the presents you give them, and you're like, girl, this was a $100,000 diamond necklace. You don't like it?
Girl, I'm out here trying to solve murders.
They don't give it back if they don't like it. They just keep it.
Typical woman, am I right?
Like, you could at least give it back so I can give it to some other girl.
Oh, well, damn, that's harsh. Or at least exchange it.
I know.
I think Lost Judgment looks rad, but I can't play it without playing the first one. But
I would recommend playing the first one.
Well, the second one has also got a bunch of looking parkour elements or something like this. It looks
that looks awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and the case he's solving seems more up my alley, but I really do think I need to play the first one first.
I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it because it's wonderful.
Yeah, I think for me, Kenna is the game of the week.
I'm excited for that one as well.
It is. It kind of does feel like a GameCube or PS2, Xbox sort of era game to me when I look at it in motion. Just sort of that action adventure feel, and they confirmed the length of it could be comfortably completed within a weekend, which is so exciting to hear in this day and age. Somebody be upfront about the fact that their game is short, because usually when it's short, they try to lie or whatever. But these guys are being clear. It's like a nice, short, brisk adventure, which we need more of.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm stoked on Kenna. Again, yeah, this week's insane, right? Diablo 2 would be fun to play. MechWarrior 5 would be great to play, because when I was a kid, man, MechWarrior 2 on PC was my jam. Sable looks great. Sable looks great, especially for the low price of Xbox Game Pass. Yeah,
That's true.
I don't know how we can do it, Alyssa. I don't know how we're going to keep up.
I don't think we can.
there's no hope for us. Well, you completed Life is Strange True Colors.
I have, yes.
So this is a very impromptu moment right here, but I need to know, how is it?
I can safely say it is my favorite after the first game in the franchise.
Okay.
I love this game. I couldn't stop playing it. And it's another one of my favorite games of the year so far. I love the story. I love the main character, Alex. I like that there's 2 romance options and both are wonderful. The story, I don't want to spoil it. It's sad but hopeful, which this series needed some hope to it.
Right, yeah.
And it just it made me feel so many things, and it was so wonderful.
Am I correct in assuming that the 2 romance options are a boy and a girl?
Yes, and if you played Before the Storm, one of the options is Steph.
Okay.
And it's wonderful to have her back and to have Katie Bentz voicing her again. She does a great job. Everyone in this cast is voiced really well, and it's such a beautiful looking game. It's wonderful. You don't have to have knowledge of the previous games. Even with Steph being in the game, you don't have to have known about her previously. It's wonderful. Takes place in a small town, and you just get to know the residents.
Right, it's back in Arcadia Bay?
No, it's in a town called Haven Springs, Colorado.
Okay. My bad. I don't know why I thought it was back there. Let me ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
The big hook of this one, right? Because every one of them has a supernatural thing, and this one is empathy, right? You can see the colors of people's emotions.
That's true.
So how does that work?
So if someone's feeling a really strong emotion, Alex can see an aura around people, and certain colors correspond with certain emotions, like blue is sadness, purple is being afraid, red's anger. And if they're feeling it strongly enough, she can tap into their emotion and see kind of through their eyes, but she's still going around and looking at things. But she can see why they're feeling that emotion through objects around the room, and she kind of hears their voice going over their memory of what is attached to that object, and she puts the pieces together about why they're sad or angry.
Okay, this might be a spoilery question, so I guess you could probably just say yes or no if it is. But do they address at any point how much of an invasion of privacy this is?
No.
No, okay. Because that's like my first thought is like, but I guess nobody really addressed Max's time travel either.
They didn't.
Yeah, so it's just powers people have. Is it? I know all the episodes are on a disc, but does it have episode breaks?
I actually play this digitally, so I don't know about the disc thing, but it does, start with a chapter. Chapter ends. You can choose to go to the next chapter or go back to the main title and leave and come back. So yeah, you can. That's good,
because when they said it was all releasing at once, it kind of scared me a little bit. But I like this. I like that it still has the episodic structure. It's just you can go at your own pace now.
Yeah. If you're like me, you become obsessed with it and binge it over the weekend.
Right, I liked when they made me have to wait. I actually like the Telltale episodic model. Me and about 14 other people cared to play like that, but I really liked it. I like the restraint and I like the cliffhangers and all that stuff. So it's nice that it still retains that for weirdos like me that want to spread it out.
Yeah, you can take as long as you need. It took me about 10 and a half hours to finish. I've heard some people say it's shorter or longer. I tried to find as much as I could around the world. I missed a few things. I hope I can go back and find those things. But
I mean, it seems like an awful lot of game to me.
It, for what it is, pretty lengthy, but it didn't feel that long. It flew by. I was so absorbed.
Well, it's good. I'm glad to hear that Ryan Clements, who is a writer,
did a fantastic job.
Did a good job.
The story is amazing.
I'm so happy. And I'm especially happy that the studio you would think would be like the Life is Strange B team managed to put out a game that everyone seems to love.
I know, Deck 9 knocked it out of the park.
Good. I think good for them, right? I mean, that's cool.
I have to say, it's better than Life is Strange 2. That one I was kind of mixed about. But this one's so good.
Life is Strange 2 just feels so removed that I don't even think about it as part of the franchise, really.
It doesn't really feel, besides the superpower aspect.
Right. Like,
and, the hard topic of it.
I feel like Tell Me Why is more of a Life is Strange game than Life is Strange 2.
Yeah. Tell Me Why was what I love. Tell Me Why.
Yeah. Very, very weird. Very weird, that one. Anyway, I'm glad to hear it's great. Obviously, you would recommend this.
Highly recommend it.
I think... I wonder... I hope it does well. I worry that it'll be a victim of its own release date.
That could happen, especially because it's not on Game Pass or anything, so you will have to pay the $60 or so for the game.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at the price.
Yeah, I think that's the highest price one of their games has been.
Right, well,
I could be mistaken.
Well, it used to be $5 an episode, so the total of the season would be $25 or $30 or whatever. So I was a little startled at the price, but I hope people give it a chance because it's a cool franchise.
And the DLC that features Steph, I believe, comes out September 30th, so you don't have to wait too long for the DLC to come out.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they were doing DLC. Look at me. I don't know nothing.
Which I will definitely be playing that too.
Well, yeah, I couldn't imagine you not playing it. What did you play it on?
Xbox.
Okay. Are you an Xbox person generally?
I like to get achievements, but okay. I love all consoles. Well, that sounded very Southern to me, so that probably sounded really Southern to everyone listening.
Well, you happen to have a Southern accent. I was thinking more of just like how even-keeled and boring of you to accept everything. Terrible.
I know, no console wars.
Yeah, I mean you wouldn't guess it based on the way I talk about them, but I am a PlayStation guy.
You've mentioned it quite a few times.
I like trophies, damn it. Anyway, so you highly recommend Life is Strange True Colors. I haven't been playing anything too new because I am all wrapped up in Tales of Arise. So let's move on. If you want to be a part of the discussion of any of this kind of stuff, you can go over to facebook.com/group/thegocast. You will never find me there because Facebook is the devil.
You will not find him there.
No, although people will ask every now and again.
I forget sometimes, and I go to search your name. I'm like, nope, he's on Twitter, not Facebook.
No. I am of course always lurking in our Discord, which you can find the link to at thegamingoutsider.com. But I think that's a great little community over there in the Discord. It
is. We have a very nice group of people.
Yeah, so if you want to chat with some nice people, check out the Discord. I'm sure somebody in the Facebook group could give you the Discord link if you asked.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
So be sure to
I'll do it if you ask me. I'm on Facebook.
Terrible choice. I
regret it sometimes, honestly.
Yeah. We're always looking for iTunes review. I wouldn't necessarily base the podcast off of this episode, but other episodes are great. I think this one's okay. But
we hope so.
Be sure to leave a review. Every podcast tells you to leave a review. And that's because it really does help you in the algorithm. It really does bump you up the charts. So it's always nice to get those 5 stars. It really helps out the show, helps spread the word, and keeps this show alive, the community alive, gets more people on the Facebook that way, the Discord, etc. Trickle-down effect. It's really great for the community if you could do that. As always, there are always written reviews coming on thegamingoutsider.com. Terrible sentence that was. Coming to thegamingoutsider.com. I know we're about to put up a review for Vesper, probably by the time you're listening to this. Sounds like Alyssa's got something cooking for Life is Strange, I presume.
I have Kataria Fables that will be posted.
Oh, yes, you're right. Kataria Fables, absolutely. Which you loved, I am sure.
Oh, you know my score for that game.
Has cats. You could read my 12 minutes review, which I found very cathartic to write.
Do it, guys. Do it.
It's kind of a fun read. I'm not saying like it's good or anything. It's just like reading back at it. I'm like, okay, at least
it is an entertaining read.
I cut loose on this one. Shout out to Willem Dafoe, the only redeeming factor. With all that out of the way, let's jump into our From the Outside In topic. Well, From the Outside In topic is, of course, our weekly conversational topic where we think up a fun little thing to discuss every week on the show. This week, we want to take a look at video game titles. They say not to judge a book by its cover, but let's be real, we all do. And the most prominent aspect of any box art is going to be that big old name and logo on the box. So what happens when they're misleading or poorly informative? That's what we're discussing this week. Alyssa, I believe this is one of your ideas.
Actually, I can't take credit. It was Scott.
He's not here. Alyssa, great idea. I thought it was fun because I take a lot of issue with terrible video game names, especially unnecessary subtitles. Really bum me out.
Oh yeah,
especially like in a first game when they throw like Kenna Bridge of Spirits, right? Couldn't you just call that game Kenna or Bridge of Spirits? Why do you need a colon in the first game?
You gotta know who the person is and where they're going.
It's just a little much. So let's start with you. Can you think of any terrible video game titles off the top of your head here?
I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's misleading. There was a game that came out on 360. I actually really enjoyed it. It's a good game, but it's called Death Smiles, and the cover art, are creepy, cute anime girls. So you think it's going to be like a horror game or something. It's a bullet hell shooter. You don't see any of these girls besides in like little cutscenes before you start doing the shooty bang bang.
shooty bang bang.
So I can see where the death comes from. But the smiles?
Because you will die.
And the cover art was very misleading. So you expect a horror game or something, but no. But it's still good. It's still fun. It's just not what you think it would be.
No, I'm a little intrigued though.
I mean, if you like bullet hell shooters, definitely play it.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Did you have any other? You want to go a little back and forth? How about we do a little back and forth?
Sure.
There was a game on Nintendo DS. Okay, this is just probably the example of the worst perhaps title ever, called Touch Deek, D-I-C. And you can see why that might have stuck with me.
Can you imagine how many people went to the store and said touch the other word that could be pronounced as?
No, it was supposed to be short for dictionary, is the idea.
I know, but still, saying it's shortened is still saying the word.
Yeah, it's a terrible title. Stuck with me forever. So that's just like this easy answer. Thinking of another terrible title, I really, really hate the title Horizon Zero Dawn. I think
I agree. It doesn't really.
It means absolutely nothing. It means nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you about the game. You can make an argument that Horizon, I guess, tells you it's open world, but it's also an easy assumption to us that any game these days is open world. A linear game is far more rare. It's very frustrating. And then I've had fans of the game itself tell me, like, well, Zero Dawn makes sense. Zero Dawn makes sense when you play it. And I say, sure, in the last 15 minutes, it means nothing. It's also just dumb. It's also another example of terrible, unnecessary subtitle. They could have just called it Horizon. Could have just called it Zero Dawn. But no, Horizon Zero Dawn, I hate it. It drives me nuts. At least Horizon Forbidden West means a little bit something else. It tells me, oh, we're going to the West, and that's bad news. Like, that's cool. That's all right. Zero Dawn tells me nothing. Hate it. Unless it drives me nuts.
I can tell it drives you nuts.
Well, that was the first thing I thought of when the topic came up. But let's use the listeners here as a springboard.
That's a good idea. Brandon Smith says his answer is Kingdom Hearts 358 over. I always get it's a tricky way you say it. It's not how it's written out.
No.
It's 358 days over 2 or something like that, but it's written like 358-2 days.
Yeah, well, it's written like a fraction, 358 divided by 2 or whatever, but it's 358 over 2 days.
And he said, I still have no idea what the hell that meant. I don't either, Brandon.
No, I've played the game and I'm still not totally sure. I think the idea is that's how long Roxas existed for 358 days. And then he's divided into 2 souls because of his connection with Sora. Maybe that's what it means. But even
I don't think anyone knows.
Even that doesn't make sense. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is ripe for this topic, though.
That's true.
You know, like, was it 2.8 final chapter prologue? I think was one of them.
That was.
Dream Drop Distance, Kingdom Hearts. That makes absolutely no sense as a title. The only one I do like, Birth by Sleep, was a good title. That's a fun thing to say.
Birth by Sleep.
But also really means nothing. I don't know. Kingdom Hearts is Square Enix in general. Holy crap! Do you remember they actually released a video game with the title Infinite Undiscovery?
Oh, I do remember that game. Yeah.
What a wretched title! Unbelievable. That's not good. That doesn't make that's a made up word describing a made up thing. Which also reminds me, Demon's Souls bugs me because it's plural. Or it's singular.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it drives me. It's not good. 2 plurals like that. Anyway, that's a little bit off. Square Enix, I think, is always trying to make dumb titles. Star Ocean, Integrity, and Faithlessness. What a mouthful. Right? And then oh man, I remember the Xenosaga games. They all had a German subtitle.
Yes.
Man, talk about pretentious.
Unless you knew German, you just sounded dumb trying to say it.
Yeah, Xenosaga du Jenseits von Guten Boss. Why can't you couldn't just say Beyond Good and Evil? All right. You know, as for springboarding one thing to another, Beyond Good and Evil is a great name for a game that doesn't explore anything in a gray area at all. The game is definitively about good versus evil. So the title of Beyond Good and Evil is so misleading. That's a great example of a misleading title.
It is, yeah.
Let's see. Sean Coates here said the redundant titles of the Super Mario Advance games immediately come to mind: Super Mario Advance 2, Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. That's a mouthful. Also, Street Fighter 2. I'm not savvy in the Street Fighter series, but I honestly don't know what's the difference between Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting, and Championship Edition. It's a great point.
I don't either.
Dude, I forgot all about the Super Mario Advance games. Those are terrible. Yeah, it's weird. Why not drop the Advance thing and just call it Super Mario World?
That's true. They just had to let people know it's on the Game Boy Advance.
Very weird. Do not appreciate. You know what's a really terrible title? Final Fantasy X-2.
Yes, that's horrible.
That's wretched.
And then when people say X2.
Oh yeah, at least
that rolls off the tongue better though.
Yeah, it would be better. 13-2, also terrible. Anytime they do the sequel, the number, it just sounds awful.
You might as well just call it Final Fantasy X Junior or something.
Why not like Final Fantasy X, The Search for Tidus? You know, like, call it something. Very strange. Final Fantasy X, Dress Up Time.
But all the girls want to play.
Yeah, well, of course. And boys, I like to change color.
Yeah.
I like to get good. Yeah. You know, with those guns, I'm into it.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Absolutely.
Enjoy that dress-up game.
Thank you for understanding. Dress Sphere system, I recall. Absolutely. Why don't you take the next comment there, Alyssa?
Michael, is it Bonovich or Bonovich?
It's Bonovich.
Bonovich. Okay, I do agree with this one. Disco Elysium is an excellent RPG experience with a deep narrative. Everyone thinks I'm talking about some rhythm game when I bring it up, though.
Yeah.
It does sound like a rhythm game. And I don't remember, I played this game, and it's wonderful, but I don't remember them ever uttering the words Disco Elysium. I do remember there being a disco ball, but that's it.
Yes. I played like 10 hours or so of Disco Elysium, and probably got distracted with other things in life. I wouldn't be surprised if they say it at some point because there's about 612 branching narrative paths.
I know. I played 30 hours, so and that's not even like covering a large chunk of the game.
No,
I mean, I played it to completion, but you can go so many different ways in this game.
Yeah, it's one I definitely want to go back to. It's so dense.
It is. You have to do a lot of reading, and there's a lot of big words.
a lot of big words, a lot of big concepts, a lot of. It has to be. I think it has to be the only game I'm playing at the time because there's just so much to keep track of. All these nouns that mean nothing to you being thrown around.
That's true, but I do think is it called the Final Edition? Something like that.
Yeah, Final Cut, maybe?
It's full Final Cut. It's fully voice acted, which helps a lot.
Yeah,
you don't have to read all of it.
That's version I was playing on PlayStation. But it's just...
I played it on PC where everything was not voice acted, so I had to do a lot of reading.
It's funny because I often skipped the voice acting because I was reading too fast and there's just so damn much going on.
I do that a lot with games, especially visual novels. I'll read it faster than they speak it, so I'm just like, continue.
I think that makes sense to me. Furious over on Discord said, weren't you all talking about a game called Jezball? That was an entertaining conversation. Okay, for the record,
I remember that one.
This is a real video game, in case anybody's confused. Jezz. Jezz. Enunciate correctly, ball. It is a very fun physics game where it gives you several balls and you must erect walls in between them.
You had to use that word.
That's what's happening. It is a lot of fun, and it's all about, and then you reach your height, you separate all the balls, and like a nice kind of explosive climax occurs where you win the round. It's really fun.
Zach's trying to kill me over here.
Hey, I'm describing playing the game.
Oh, you're putting the innuendos in there on purpose.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Absolutely not. But anyway, you want to avoid the balls at all costs in that game. It's that's how it really was. It's just how it works.
Oh no. Okay, the next. I always get stuck with your name, Mark, and I'm so sorry because I'm gonna butcher it again. I'm sure. Mark Zemansky?
I think that's right.
If I said it right, Mark, I'm happy. If I said it wrong, butcher my name again. Says Super Mario Brothers. So you're telling me that one's name is Mario and the other is Luigi Mario? They're brothers, therefore share the same surname. That's how surnames work. The surname brothers. Oh my god. Mario, and Luigi Mario.
So are the Gianna sisters the same way? It's like one's Gianna. There's Paula Gianna. Yeah, I thought it's so funny that I liked in that movie though that everybody hates that I say you should watch drunk and have a great time. I do love that Luigi Mario, like they don't even bat an eye about how weird their names are. They're like, yeah, it's Mario. Yeah, and I'm Luigi Mario. And that's just the facts.
Oh
God, it is. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
You still think about Jezball over there?
Well, Mark got me laughing about the Mario and Luigi Mario thing, but then you just said Jezball. So.
I thought it was really funny, and I think Paper Mario makes some jokes at Luigi's expense about that, right? Because he's just staying at home collecting their mail throughout the game.
Oh, poor Luigi.
It really is sad loser Luigi. Is it Wario? Is that his name too? I don't know.
That's a good question.
I gotta look into this because then there'd be Waluigi Wario, which is awesome.
That's actually a cool name. Wario though sounds. I don't know.
Sounds a little.
Please do a deep dive on this, Zach.
Yeah, I'll report back. Last comment here is from Daniel Gilmore, who said, "At least nuts and milk is easy to pronounce." I feel like that's a Jezball joke. You would have
Scott put a post game art up of a game called Nuts and Milk.
Oh, that's right. But he follows up with, you would have zero idea what this game is based about on the name. We always just refer to it as that game where you could play as Sephiroth, and then he posted...
I played this game.
He posted a box art of Ergies, I would guess. Ehrgeiz.
Ergies.
Air something. Ergies, God Bless the Ring. Which...
This is a fighting game. And it's awesome. I played it. My uncle used to have it, and we played it on PS1 together, but we never said the name right. I think we used to call it Energizer because we could not... We're just like, let's play Energizer.
That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, this brought back memories when I saw this comment, but yeah, I don't know how to say that name. Someone probably does out there. If you do know, please tell us how to pronounce it.
Yeah, this game is famous, exclusively for the fact that half of its roster came from Final Fantasy VII.
I know, it was such a cool game.
You could play.
I remember one fight, you do it on top of a Okay, I didn't mean it that way. You fight on top of a train while it's moving, and it's really cool. That's what I remembered as a kid.
That sounds pretty cool. I don't really remember that. I think I rented it like once, just so I could see, Sephiroth in different graphics or whatever.
Every time I hear Sephiroth's name, I just have his theme song play in my head.
It's impossible not to immediately go, Sephiroth! Yeah, I understand.
That was beautiful, Zach.
Thank you. I hope to be in the next chorus for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. There's another whack job title. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Anyway, let's flip the script real quick, Alyssa. Can you think of any just great titles?
Great titles. Let's see. Devil May Cry. Great title.
That's a great title, yeah. You're absolutely right.
You got Dante, and he owns the bar/pizza place, Devil May Cry.
No, you're right. You know what? You know what's an annoying title? DMC Devil May Cry.
That's true, because that's Devil May Cry, Devil May Cry. That's like Mario.
It's really bad. I was very surprised that was the final title of that game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they didn't think that it was. I like that game.
No, me too. I like it a lot.
But
actually, yeah.
That is a terrible title.
I'm with you. Yeah, I like Dante in that game quite a bit. I know that's gonna get me murdered probably on the streets of Kansas City.
I like Dante in that game too, especially when the wig, flies on his head. He looks at himself in the mirror, and he looks like classic Dante. But then he's like, "Nah," and throws it.
I am generally all for reboots. That game had
I know so many people hated it.
I appreciate it because it was so confident in its new direction, and I think that's exciting. Like, it wasn't trying to be old Devil May Cry,
no,
at any point, and that was cool. What a good game. Ninja Theory, Enslaved Odyssey of the West, great game.
And Hellblade,
also
wonderful,
yes.
Loved it. I'm excited for the sequel.
Enslaved Odyssey of the West though would have been better if it was titled Enslaved or Odyssey of the West.
That is true.
I feel like most of these colons are just the team can't decide which name to go with, so they're like, well, what if we slap them together?
It's true. Why don't we use them both?
I know. I think Odyssey of the West is a cool name.
It is a cool name.
Yeah. I'm thinking cool titles, and this is probably just because it's so fresh in my brain, but No More Heroes is a killer title for a game.
That is a cool title.
It's probably slightly misleading because the game really doesn't address that concept until very briefly in the second one. But No More Heroes is an awesome title.
Also, Lollipop Chainsaw is a great title.
Yes.
Because she plays a cheerleader who is always sucking on lollipops, and she's just chainsawing zombies, and they erupt in rainbows and glitter, and it's great. Also, James Gunn had a hand in this game, along with Suda51. So
two madmen together.
It's great.
Yeah, that game's baller. I think
there is that one achievement though, or trophy that you get that makes you feel icky.
A little pervy.
Yeah, I did it.
Hey, I did it in both of the Nier games. Had the same trophy.
I know. I'm always like, I just kind of move the thumbstick and sit there until it goes ding. I'm like, okay, I can move again.
Okay, I probably got the trophy in Nier Automata without even thinking no one was a trophy. Oh my! But anyway, I didn't say that.
Oh,
Who said that? Who
Zach.
said that? What? It was just so fun that she kicked the camera away. Dude, that's the name. I can admit the titling of Nier kind of bugs me.
Yeah.
It bugs me because it was supposed to. It's like the character's name, but then Yoko Taro now says it's not the character's name. So then, what the hell does Nier mean? And then, if it is a character's name, he's not in Automata, so why is it there? I overthink it.
That's true. That's valid.
Yeah. I know I hate to say this out loud. But just, you can be critical of your favorite things.
I just thought of another terrible game name.
Lay it on me.
Metal Gear Revengeance.
I was going to say Metal Gear Solid in general is a pretty bad name.
That's true, but Revengeance?
See, I'm going to argue with you here because I think Revengeance works because it really does tell you what the tone of the game is and that it's about to be real stupid. And Metal Gear Revengeance does not make any bones about being ridiculous.
It is very, very ridiculous.
So I kind of think it works. You're right, it's dumb. It definitely fits in the dumb category. But it definitely tells you what's up.
That's true, yeah. In Metal Gear Solid, you're just like, huh? I mean, it's Solid Snake.
Yeah, I think is it supposed to be a reference? Yeah, perhaps a Solid Snake, but also to the fact that the graphics were in 3D now. That's what I always assumed it was supposed to be referring to. But
that's a good theory.
It's not great. I'll ask Kojima next time we're on the phone. Don't you
worry. You have his phone number?
Oh,
I'm jealous.
Me, Jeff Keighley, and Hideo Kojima are always chatting away. But yeah.
How'd you not end up in Death Stranding then?
I turned him down.
Oh, okay.
There's another really dumb name.
It's true. Death Stranding.
I don't even think the game ever explains why it's called Stranding, does it?
I don't believe so.
No, I mean, I guess. No, right. The Death Stranding was an event, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Because people can't move on or something.
I just remember, being Norman Reedus carrying a BB around and trying not to drop all my packages. Because if I drop my packages, I get in trouble. So.
I like that game.
I actually did too. It's relaxing in a weird way.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was very relaxing. It's kind of like, it was also, unfortunately, quite prophetic about the very state of the world. It
was? Kojima, are you psychic?
What's kind of scary, because then Metal Gear Solid 2 kind of predicted a terrorist event in New York. It's just, he's on too hot of a streak here about predicting the future.
He's psychic, I tell you.
I think if I were him, I'd be a little bit afraid to make another game.
I don't know.
I feel like I'm bringing cataclysmic events into fruition.
Maybe he wants it.
Perhaps. I'll tell you, video game title I hate, Biohazard.
Oh, Resident Evil's Japanese name, and also 7.
The 7 subtitle was cute, because over there it was Biohazard Resident Evil, and here is Resident Evil Biohazard, and it was a reboot of the franchise. That was cute. Well done. But I just have had so many friends over the years say that Biohazard is a better title, and they're so wrong.
No, Resident Evil's cool.
Resident Evil implies that something sinister is in your very neighborhood. It's a great title. I love it. One of the best.
Biohazard just makes me think of those little containers that, you throw away needles and gloves in.
It can mean anything. Yeah, it's nothing. Nonsense. Anyway, I think we're rambling at this point.
We are.
We better get out of here. We better hit the parachute. Let's bail. Next week's topics is definitely probably undecided. But if you say glue to the Facebook or Discord, you'll find out what it is there. Love to have your comments. It would be great. I always appreciate hearing from the audience. We also have a phone number if you ever wanted to call in. I don't think anybody ever has. But if you
could surprise us.
But you could be the one by dialing 347-746-2278. That is 3477-GOCAST. It would be really fun if the one episode Scott's not on had somebody call in.
Please call in.
Yeah, it'd be great. You can
Alyssa really wants you to.
Yeah, do it. Yes, do it for Alyssa. But that will do it for this week's episode of The Gaming Outsider. You're going to be so pleased it's so much shorter than normal. Alyssa, thank you for joining me on our slightly weeaboo adventure. It was nice. I like you. You're fun to talk to.
Oh, I like you too, Zach.
You're one of my favorite people.
Oh, you're on my favorite people list too.
You're always trying to make me feel good on Twitter, and I appreciate that because I don't often feel good. So that's nice. So thank you.
Hugs. Hugs.
Thank you for the podcast hug. Before we get out of here, any parting words for the audience here? Anything you've been watching, etc.?
One thing I did pretty much binge. I'm a terrible TV watcher, but I could not get enough of Clickbait on Netflix, which I know that's really popular, so people listening have probably already watched it, but if you haven't...
I don't know if I've ever heard of it.
It's this really good... I can't tell too much about the story because it will spoil it, but it's a mystery series that stars Adrienne Grenier from Entourage and Zoe Kazan, and the general premise of the series, it's only 8 episodes long, is this guy, Nick Brewer. He's a husband and father, and after his mother's birthday party, he just disappears, and then his sister finds a video online of him holding up cards saying he did this certain thing, and at 5 million views of the video, he'll die. So they're trying to stop that from happening. They're trying to see if it's a hoax or whatever, and it's just really compelling. And wow. You never see, I could never guess what was going to happen.
Does it wrap up the story within this season?
It does, yes.
Okay, yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
And it's supposed to only be a limited series, but they could make it an anthology thing with a new cast.
Of course.
But I really, really liked it. Way more than I thought I would, but I am a sucker for a good mystery.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I am an atrocious television watcher, so I will probably not get to it, to be honest. But it sounds very cool.
It is only 8 episodes, around 45 minutes apiece.
Okay,
I think I watched it in 3 days' time, which for me is very fast.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I watched 8 episodes in 3 days of anything. I'm really not. I gotta get better about watching TV. Whenever I'm watching TV, I'm just like, this is 22 minutes. I could have been playing a game.
I have the worst time watching TV because I have that same thing. Playing a game, 20 minutes goes by. Yeah. That's fast. I'm watching something on TV. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so long. It's been 20 minutes. It's not even over yet.
Yeah.
It's only halfway through.
It's probably a product of this podcast where I feel guilty if I'm not playing a game. It's probably not healthy at all. But as for me, before we get out of here, speaking of TV though, I have been rewatching Sex Education.
I've never watched that.
To catch up, I adore that show. It's probably my favorite Netflix original. Probably, it's either that or Cobra Kai, right? Those are my darlings. But Sex Education is my show where Scott would rewatch all the shows of Game of Thrones before the new season would come out.
Oh yeah,
I do that with Sex Education, which isn't very impressive because it's only on season 3. But it's a show I rewatch. It just often makes you feel good. When it does make you feel sad, it feels earned. I am needlessly worried about season 3 for some reason. I feel like Netflix shows have a pretty good track record of going off the rails, so I'm hoping that does not happen here. But I do like Sex Education. If I may throw a little weeaboo plug, I just started One Piece, the manga, which I have.
I was gonna say, if you just start the anime, I've never watched it, but I know there's over 900 episodes, and I'm like, never gonna happen.
Well, I know there's over 1,000 chapters of the manga.
Oh Lord,
which is insane, but they're so easy to read. I'm trying to read 1 chapter a day. That's my plan, which would mean that it would take me over 3 years to catch up. Which is hilarious to think about. But it is I'm just reading a chapter before bed. It's kind of nice. It's the same best friend of mine who recommended to me Berserk, which is my second piece of fiction ever created, also recommended me One Piece, and I've ignored him the entire time I've known him because I'm like, why would I care about pirates? But it is shocker. He's got good taste. I'm really liking it. I always thought Luffy, the main character, was kind of like one of those pushover goody two-shoe guys.
You're gonna get massacred by fans. It's pronounced Luffy, and they get so mad.
Is it?
I know the fans get so mad if you mispronounce his name.
Oh, man.
I don't know why. I guess because they love him.
Okay, I apologize, all One Piece fans.
No, I said it wrong, and I got corrected before. They were like, it's Luffy.
In our defense, it's spelled Luffy.
It is spelled like Luffy. But I guess they're going by the Japanese pronunciation when you spell like, ooh, Luffy.
All right, well, I apologize. It's Luffy.
I didn't want you to get massacred by anyone.
No, I appreciate it. It's also a nice break because I'm reading through Death Note and Made in Abyss, which are both very harsh.
I've heard Made in Abyss is... It looks cute from, the outset, but I haven't watched it or read it. I want to.
Oh, I've
heard it's very dark.
I love the anime. I love the anime so much, Alyssa, that I actually watched it in Japanese before it had an English dub because I thought the premise was so cool that I was like, I guess I'll give it a shot in Japanese. And then I watched like the whole series in Japanese for it. And then I rewatched it in English. And it felt weird to hear English voices, but but now I'm reading the manga. I love Made in Abyss. I think it's tremendous. I think it transcends its genre. It's something really special.
Okay.
But the anime is great. It will make you cry though.
Oh.
So know that going in.
Oh, I was going to tell you while we're on this weeaboo train.
we did threaten to take over the podcast with weebs.
I did start Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm only 2 episodes in.
Okay.
But it's so good so far. Just 2 episodes in. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And now I know why people love Gojo so much.
Is that the protagonist?
He's the guy that has the black mask over his eyes.
Okay.
That everyone's like, oh my god, he's so hot.
Oh my god, it's Gojo.
Yeah. Now I'm like, I get the appeal.
I know it's on HBO Max, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll and HBO Max.
Okay, I think I might have to... I was trying to field Twitter the other day if it was worth watching, and nobody replied to me, so...
I saw you. That's why I mentioned it, because I hadn't seen it at that point, but I have seen the first 2 episodes now.
Yeah,
I still have 22 to go.
Planted the seed in your head.
And I'm still watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because it's very long.
It's very good.
It is good, though. It's sad, though. Especially episode 4.
Nope.
I'm not going to say what happens, but it's traumatizing.
Yeah, at the very least. But anyway, let's get out of here before everyone jumps off the Mugen train. Thanks so... You like that?
Yeah.
Oh man, Demon Slayer is a gift that keeps... I hate like being involved in something that's like so popular right now, but Demon Slayer is awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah, freaking chump at the library needs to return the volume 3. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to The Gaming Outsider. It is produced by Nate Lucas each and every week. He is a treasure to us.
We love Nate.
And we thank him dearly. Send Nate Lucas some Jurassic Park gifts and make his day. All the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stamage and Metroid Metal. You can find him at stamagemusic.com. Grant, one of the most effortlessly cool people ever. Please be sure to email us if you ever have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I am Zach Parkerson, and with me this week was the tremendous Alyssa White.
Yay!
And we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.